Welcome back, viewers. My next guest is Priyanka Tyagi, founder and CEO of Kula Studio. Priyanka is a serial entrepreneur and she is building a community or family of clanish, as they call it, which is working towards sustainable future. The startup provides upcycle and refashion services to help cut down on carbon footprint. Welcome to the show, Priyanka.
Thank you for having me.
Priyanka, tell us about your startup, Kula, and also, you call it as a clan, as a family. Uh, Take us through that.
So, what started off as an idea in middle of the lockdown, Kula started off as an idea when I was on a break from my work, and I realized that there's a lot of reasons why we hoard clothes, and I was sitting on a lot of clothes myself, and I think the lockdown did that for us. We had a lot of ample time to go through what we own and reconsider, rethink what we revisit our the corners of the house that were sort of neglected. So I found like a lot of clothes, and I realized that we hoard clothes for several reasons. And while we sort of understood how we are contributing to, let's say, the climate change, one step would be to like sort of cut back from over consuming. And while we go ahead and I started making conscious choices by then. So I realized that while I was trying to buy sustainable, not using what I already owned was going to be a problem later as well. So that's when Kula happened, and I realized that having this idea isn't enough, and I started talking to a lot of people around me, and we realized that the access to the concept of sustainability and reusing isn't new to India; it's in our DNA. But the whole the ease in finding it as an e-commerce service is what was trying to uh, was the reason why people want adapting to it easily or going back to it easily. So bringing that access to people sort of was my mission. And while going ahead with shop sustainable, it's equally important to use what we own exhaustively. And that's when Kula happened. What started off as an idea by talking to 50 people, we touched 90 plus orders in the very first month. This was before the second wave of the pandemic hit. And then after the pandemic, after the second wave, we went operational last August. And right now we've serviced at least 45 pin codes across the country.
I would like to understand what exactly do you do? I mean, is it?
So,
Yeah, please go ahead.
so we provide upcycle and refashion services for clothes one already owns as a door-to-door service through a digitally responsive website. So what we do is we enable you to use the clothes you already own that don't fit you or are you're just bored of, to maybe refashion them or upcycle them into a different style that you can choose from our design template that's on our website. And it's a pan-India service. You can do this like from the comfort of your homes. We provide a free pickup and delivery across the country. And this is what we do.
So, would it not be easier and cheaper to just go out there and buy?
That is the reason why we are dealing with a lot of hazardous landfills right now because of the access to e-commerce and the comfort of buying from home. It sort of makes you replace something that needs very minimal tweaking with a new garment altogether and leads us to that much. It leads to a massive, it's a mass movement towards fashion pollution, right? So if we could just help instead of one person going there 100%, if 10 of us could do the 10% by cutting overconsumption, by reusing what we own, that would lead to like a circular movement and it would lead to slowing down fast fashion pollution, which is the most contributing factor towards climate change as we speak.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong. Women tend to not wear or repeat a dress.
Yeah.
Especially if it's functions. Uh, how much different would a dress look in another function after refashioning it?
We uh, we have restored heirlooms and we've also refashioned a sari multiple times to make it look like various different looks. And we also try and promote classic styles, which sort of work with, can pull it off for any kind of an event. And we also, with every style that we make, we send in a small style guide as to how they could style it for various occasions and it would still look different. So I would say many. It's hard to put a number on it, but yeah, many.
And when it comes to the say of women in their in the relook or the refashioning part of it, how do they go about doing it? I mean, do you offer them a certain design that they can do with? I'm sure it would take a lot of effort from your end, isn't it? I mean, first going through what they have and then trying to come up with a design that would make them look different, and then probably pitch it to the to the end user to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, or there's multiple patterns that we could do, or different designs we can do. How easy or difficult is it?
So what we've done is we've come up with a very exhaustive list of styles that you can refashion your three categories that we mainly operate in, which is cotton sarees, silk sarees, and denims. So when you go to our website, you'll see what are the different kinds of products that can be made out of a cotton saree, what could be made out of a silk saree, and what could be made out of denims. So we have only three categories active at this point. So it is an exhaustive list, but yeah, there are people who very effortlessly place orders without any help from us. But there are some of them who reach out to us saying, "This is the sari. How would it look? Because I'm unable to imagine it." We have gone the catalog way for a certain reason, because we're in the space of upcycling one's clothes back to them and not commercially produced, collected, pre-loved clothes. When it is our clothes back to us, we didn't see any reason as to why we should be sampling everything, because we have no control over the kind of garments and prints that come in. So we have a very sketched out catalog that you choose from. And when you are unable to imagine your garment, we help sketch it out. Our design team sketches it out and reaches out to the consumer, and we let them know that this is how it's going to look in your print and your colors. And I know we're getting things right, because we have out of 10, 6 of them come back to reorder with us. Yeah, it's changing slowly.
That's good to hear that. I mean, sustainability is the buzz, and it's the key for for us. So for the price conscious customer out there, what would you tell them? I mean, how much is the difference in cost when I have to get it done a new one, buy a new one vis-a-vis get it refashioned with you?
If I'm going to talk from the price factor, we are trying to enable people to switch, let's say, a retail concept of buying to a sustainable. All of us know sustainable fashion brands are expensive, and they should become, because they help you. Like they have a bigger cause to meet, but it's also essential for us to hold on to what we own, and we're trying to bring the e-commerce factor into it. So it's going to be maybe as expensive as or as cheap as retail fashion is, essentially. And someone just once said that retail fashion may be cheap, but it's going to cost us eventually. So I guess if that says anything about the price factors.
So when it comes to clothing, some part of it also has an emotional connect to it. How do people? I mean, how do you get around that? Somebody might say this is the a sari presented by my important person or on an important occasion, and any change to it, no more keeps it authentic the way it was or presented.
I've had the opportunity of working with textiles that are decades old, heirlooms, and we've helped them restore them into wearable pieces or as for memorabilia. And the testimonials are heartwarming. And also I think there was a time and space where people unfortunately lost loved ones, and they wanted to hold on to a piece of them. So we had a lot of such orders as well. A few of them wrote back beautiful stories, and we haven't put them out there because it's just too personal. But yes, I feel like even after, we have a very good story to share. We recently upcycled mother's a 65-year-old wedding sari into two blazers for two sisters, and yeah, interesting stuff like that.
I'm sure that kind of thing, definitely connects with people across, isn't it? Irrespective of what age group or which generation they come from.
Something in Kula for everybody. Kula essentially means community in Sanskrit. We named it Kula because it takes a is a baby and it takes a village to save the planet. It takes a village to celebrate. It takes a village to do anything in India. And while we provide upcycling services, and when you like a style on our website and you don't have the apt sari, we also let you choose Kula fabric, which is a library we are building. And all the fabrics are sourced directly from clusters across the country. The ikats come from a ikat cluster in Nalgonda. So we source them directly from the weavers, and we help our clients upcycle that fabric into the style they like from our template. So we sort of like also have helped clusters clear the dead stocks which aren't selling; they're just lying there. So it takes a community, and we see the community growing slowly, and that's what we're building, one that's leaning towards sustainability while we sort of hold on to what we already own and use what we own exhaustively before we start over consuming again. Yeah.
So it's not Kula is not just about sustainability; it's also in some forms an art, isn't it?
I agree. It's a very inclusive space. We are trying to. There are so many men who have reached out. How come you have only women's apparel on your site? I was like, oh, it's an R&D, but you know what? When people reach out, we have upcycled a few saris into beautiful menswear clothes, menswear jackets. We've had them restore their mother saris and turn them into wall panels and arts with their initials. So there are men reaching out as well. We've worked with combat boots to bomber jackets. We've done all of that. Yeah. So I think the whole concept, like I said, is not new to our country. It just needs to maybe get aligned with the design aesthetics and the comfort from what we see is people these days want to replace what they own just because of a missing button. And I mean, if we could just maybe add that little comfort and give them the access to the right tailors and design, like even also another USP is you wouldn't really find what we make anywhere because you won't get Indian textiles in Western silhouettes or the silhouettes of your size in any style, any size, any fabric. I mean, and from the comfort of your home. So there's something in it for everybody.
Tell me, how did you get into this? I mean, what drove you or what motivated you to get into start Kula in the first place?
So, like I said, in the middle of the pandemic, I was going through my wardrobe and I realized I had so many clothes that I was holding on to for several reasons. I just had my second child who was 4 months old, and it was the pandemic, the second wave sort of just gave us a lot of time to rethink what we own. And we were also reading up about the kind of things that the planet was going through and all of that. And I realized that I'm unable to do anything on my own because of the access. I'm also a defense wife, so we're sort of posted away from the comforts of, like I don't have the access to the right tailors. I don't have access to a lot of things that I would otherwise want. And I realized that this wasn't exclusive. These problems weren't exclusive to me. They are pretty much problems that everybody has, like either time or access or just the lack of I don't know, creativity. So if we started putting all the ideas and all the problems, and I spoke to at least 500 people, all women and men, to understand why do they have that little set of clothes, those many clothes, or however you want to put it. Why do we all hold on to clothes? And the reasons were there were all kinds of reasons, and that's what led me to think that maybe we could maybe tackle a lot of waste by letting people reuse what they own easily. So that was the idea behind Kula, and it didn't have a name then. It was just something that I just started talking, like I said. And after having spoken to 500 people, there were at least about 15, 20 already asking, are you doing something? Because I would want to, I need help. And I said, okay, fine, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. And then when I started talking to like at least 600, 700, there were men asking me to restore something beautiful of theirs that they would want to change into something else. Or so then I realized, wait, I need to add filters, maybe go active with women, because this. And also we spoke to these people to understand what is it that they wanted to restore most. There were saris, there were denims. These were the highest in demand. If I go through the pain to go to a tailor to find someone to get this done, it would have to be a sari or a Purani jeans. So then we started working on just these two categories. We explored all the possibilities. Then came in the design template, and it took us 3 months to just create the template. It had to be in sync with the Indian fashion, also the global fashion. It needs to be versatile. Every piece, there's no point in adding to like the trends and the fads alone. We wanted to create something that could remain as a classic piece and it would be timeless. And coming to heirlooms, there's so much to do there. I mean, every ask is different. So then we came up with like a fixed template of this sari, these are the possibilities. This sari, these are the possibilities. But going forward, the plan is to maybe make it very interactive where everything's going to be fingertips easy. You just upload your picture, it would take shape. I mean, that's the future I see. I see a lot of responsive tech helping people imagine what they own in any silhouette that they choose from the website.
And today,
That's,
technology is there to help you do that, isn't it?
yes, slowly but surely we'll get there. Yeah.
Priyanka, finally, before I let you go, MyStar TV is a channel for startups and entrepreneurs like you. What are your thoughts about our channel?
Thank you. It's so nice to actually have a place to talk about what we do, other than the usual word of mouth. It sort of helps us understand when people reach out through other channels that are unknown to us. It helps us understand that there is this big need or an ask. It's a different way to sort of tell our story. And we hope this community that we are building grows. And thank you, more part of what you're doing.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again on some of our panel discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Good day.